Fishing minigames are the worst part of any game. Why do they need to be added? What do they add to the game? Fishing? When I signed up for a globe-trotting adventure which ends in fighting God, I didn't sign up for fishing. If you want to go collecting animals, why are you not playing Pokemon? So, anyway, I love Dredge. The main issue with many minigames is that they're not fleshed out. They're just there to act as a short break between the main events of the game or to give the player a palate cleanser, as and when they feel it. Not that they really need to be fleshed out, but it does mean that very little time is put into making them even good or worth your time. Fishing minigames are what's used consistently by many developers in my eyes. You see it everywhere, so when I first saw that Dredge was nothing but a fishing minigame, I was skeptical, but I would be lying if I said I didn't get sucked into it. This is very much a situation where a small, simple concept is cleaned and perfected to a mirror shine. Fishing, being the main activity you'll be doing, is quick, snappy, engaging, and feels good. It's a very simple affair. You find an area in the ocean which has fish available in schools, specified by shadows just below the surface and bubbles floating up, and you start fishing. You can spend every time fishing by just sitting there and letting the player character bring the line in on their own, or you can speed up the process by hitting the right button at the right times. This will make the line come in faster and sometimes give you the option to catch rarer fish. It's a very simple loop, but as I've already said, polished to a mirror shine. Sound effects are clean, definitive, satisfying, and the music accompanying the game is relaxing, heartfelt, and at times unnerving. Yeah, that's right, there's darkness in those depths. The ocean is already unnerving when you're caught miles and miles out in open water, no land in sight, and the game leads into that in its music and art design. During the day, it's clear what's lying in wait. You can see the types of fish just below the surface, can clearly see how far away from land you are, and the music is bright and sunny. But when night falls, shadows beneath the surface take on a new form as you're unsure what lies in wait. Distant honks in the distance become a sign of danger as tugboats charge towards you. Rocks pop out of nowhere from the darkness, and the fog closes in so even your lights don't make a difference. Atmosphere is surprisingly front and center for Dredge. You're already incentivized to rest during the night and only venturing out in the day, but the game puts in significant effort to really show that the only option is for you to rest at night. This becomes less important as you progress further into the game, getting more equipment for your little boat, better hull, better lights, better engines, but by that point you're familiar enough with the game that it doesn't matter, and doesn't take away the initial impact the game has on you. And you'll more than likely get to that point, as progression is done very well. You're consistently incentivized to explore, continue with the story, upgrade your ship, and keep fishing. Knowing that there are upgrades for you and your ship, you'll always feel that you need a little bit more room to store fish. Or you wish you could fish things a bit faster. Or maybe even try and catch those fish you aren't able to right now. Curiosity also plays a massive part in the game's enjoyment, to nobody's surprise. What fish lies below the waves? What weird new fish will I discover? I really embody my coast-dwelling ancestors in skewering all those fish across the waves. And if none of that takes your fancy, there's always the story. There's nothing much to it, of course, but it does involve small amounts of intrigue to keep you pushing forward and learn more about you, the world, and why you're actually here. But what's the inspiration? Yep, that's right, H.P. Lovecraft. Eldritch horrors beneath the depths, abominations beyond our comprehensions, and a sprinkling of insanity. It's all here and woven into the narrative. My only complaint would be in relation to the narrative. Whilst you explore, you're tasked with completing small odd jobs in order to unlock the next narrative event, or just to get additional gear from the locals. The unfortunate thing is that these odd jobs or side quests are just more of the same thing you've been doing for the rest of the game. Speak to the guy, they then give you a fish they'd like, you go and find that fish, and you bring it back, and that's it. It doesn't really add anything new, but then as long as the fishing clicks with you, it doesn't really need to, and adding additional minigames or events which are rough around the edges would only bring down the overall quality of Dredge. Overall, Dredge isn't a long game by any metric, similar to this review, but it's fun. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and it stays consistently engaging for its short runtime, and is still a good game to relax and settle into for the 100% completion nutters who want to collect all the fish. Now, maybe I should get into fishing.